Okay. So we're going to get started with HSPT because that's what we're here to do. Obviously, you guys are applying to some very competitive Catholic schools that are out there. So we want to get ready and do this as competitively as possible. So I'm going to open up the lesson and we'll get started. Um, sorry, this is taking me a moment. Let me share my page here. So the reason why I asked you guys to turn on your cameras is because I'm going to ask you guys what happened here. Sorry. Oh, I know what I'm doing here. Just having a little technical. Um, all right. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and pretty much I write stuff on here. The binders that I gave you guys is meant for you to keep. It is meant for you to write on it. It's meant for you to take notes and do everything. I don't want you guys to just sit there and nod and go, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's why Rita, she's like, oh, my binder's somewhere over there in the living room. I was like, go get it. Do you guys have pencils or pens to write on? Do you have a pen or pencil to write on? Because that binder is meant for you to write on it. This isn't something that you return back to me. You don't return it back to the school. It's meant for you to write all over. I know at your schools, you're not allowed to write on the books that they give you because it belongs to the school and they use it every year. This binder is meant for you to take all your notes on it. Okay. So let's get into this right here. I'm going to talk about this. Let me ask Rita, do you know what HSPT stands for?
High school placement test.
Correct. Nice job there. So I've had some people go, I have no idea. And they're like, they would even try to pronounce it as a word. I'm like, not really, but that's correct. Placement test. Naoki, why do you think we have to take this test?
Like to like show the high schools like where you are.
Yes, it is. It does. The test shows your performance level. That's true. But let me put it this way, since you guys are from two different schools, the Catholic schools are very typical of each other. In fact, St. Timothy and Notre Dame have the exact same school schedule. You guys get out early on Monday and you guys have all of Thanksgiving break off. It's very similar. But what I'll say is this, um, is the lowest A at your school 90%, Naoki?
I think
Is it? Or do you
yeah,
know?
I think it's like 90-ish.
90-ish? 92? 93?
Um,
Do you know?
no.
Okay, how about you, Rita? What's the lowest percent you can get to get an A?
Want to say it's 80 or at least 85. Depends on the
85
teacher.
is an A?
It depends on the teacher because some teachers grade very nicely and very
Oh,
kind. And then I have my very strict teachers who like
so
the highest you can get for the like an A minus is a 90.
okay, so this is what I'm going to say. Not all A's are created equally. That's what I'm going to tell you right there. This is the real reason why we take this test. Not all A's are created equally. Okay? You just said it right there. You said 80% to 100% is an A at St. Timothy's. And then Naoki said it's like 93% to 100% is an A at Notre Dame. Does that show you that not all A's are created equally? Do you guys see that? So
Yeah.
when SI, Notre Dame, Sarah, and all these schools start to receive their students' report cards, an A from Notre Dame is harder to get than an A at St. Timothy. So someone who got an 80% A at St. Timothy would be like, yeah. But then somebody at Notre Dame is like, huh? Right? Do you see that? So schools like all the Catholic school high schools, they basically have to grade fairly. So that's why they force everyone to take the HSPT. So that's what this is about. And it sounds tough, but that is really, really how they do that. So welcome. What is your name there? You just joined us here.
Patrick.
Patrick, can you change your name because you got your mom's name in there? Change your name.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. And then I don't know what happened to your old classmate, Ethan. He disappeared, but I can't reach him while I'm talking. If either of you guys can text him, tell him to come back in. I don't know what happened to him. All right. We're gonna keep moving here, and what I've just established for you guys is that not all A's are created. Now, I was joking around with you there, Rita. There are some schools here in the Bay Area that don't even give A through F grading. Their teachers give paragraphs. They'll say, John is a very kind student and he smiles and participates in class. Now, how do you compare a paragraph about a student who smiles and raises his hand frequently in class to you guys who actually get grades A through F, right? I once taught this at a school where I gave them homework and they looked really nasty at me, like, oh, and I was like, why are you guys looking so mean at me? I just assigned homework. We don't do homework. I'm like, wait, you guys don't do homework? I said, and they're like, yeah, we don't do homework. Our teachers don't assign any homework. And I said, what about how do you get graded? Don't you have tests? We don't have tests. I was like, wait, you don't have tests? You don't have homework. How do you get graded? Our teachers grade us on class participation. Now, we just talked about this for a second, and it tells you that's why the Catholic schools have these tests, because not all A's are created equally. Does that make sense to you guys now? Yeah. All right. So, what do we need to score well? I'm joking around a little bit with that stuff, but more to the serious stuff. I'll tell you that we do need to know vocabulary, all right, which can be tough. We also need to know we need to know arithmetic, algebra, and geometry.
recording in progress.
Oh my gosh, somebody has their echo on. All right. And then lastly, we also need to have knowledge of reading, and we also need to know grammar and punctuation. Okay. You're okay there, Patrick. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. You switched. Okay. Can I use a calculator? Let me throw this out. Patrick, what do you think? Can we use a calculator on this test?
Yes.
No, unfortunately, no calculator on this. Does your school allow you guys to use calculators? Let me ask you that.
We attended, sorry, this is Patrick's mom. I'm still holding. We attended the Sarah open house yesterday. They said that they can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the HSPT, you guys are allowed to use calculators?
Yeah, that's what they said yesterday.
Okay, well
They
then,
said they even said they had enough calculators for everyone.
oh
So no
my
need to do
gosh. Okay, this is what I'm
yeah.
going to tell you guys. At the SIHSPT, Sacred Heart, St. Ignatius, Reardon, they are not allowed to use calculators.
Um, okay, well, I'm gonna double check then.
Okay, that is a huge advantage for you guys. So thanks for sharing that. I did not know that about Sarah, but that makes life a little bit easier for you. I
Yes.
actually teach you guys to not use a calculator because people become very calculator dependent, and it can be a handicap more than a help if we become calculator dependent. So I'm going to teach as if there's no calculators allowed. All right. Even if Sarah makes the exception. I want to, and Patrick, I just want you to know you should be writing notes in your binder. That binder is meant for you to write on. It's not for you to return back to me. You should be writing notes. Okay. So whatever I write on this screen, you write it down. Okay. And by the way, both Rita and Patrick, I don't know what happened to your classmate Ethan, but he disappeared. So I don't know what to do here because I can't reach him. But anyways, HSPT is a multiple choice test. There are 298 questions here in 5 sections. And the sections come in this order. They start with verbal, then they go to quantitative, and it switches from quantitative to reading, and then it goes from reading to mathematics. And lastly, um, it goes from mathematics to language. And language is probably the hardest one for most students because it's really a test of your knowledge of punctuation, grammar, and also capitalization. And most of us, our eyes are very, very forgiving. So that's what happens there. So we're going to keep on moving here. So you guys write that down or not? Did you get it? Okay. While you guys are writing that, I'm going to try to reach Ethan's father again. I don't know what happened here. Is so let's keep on going. I just told his dad that he disappeared. All right, I'm gonna go to the next part. You guys cool? All right, let's keep on going. So this is really important here. There are 290, I'm sorry, there are 298 questions. Now, most of the questions have four answer choices, which is A, B, C, and D, except something called logic questions. Logic questions are part of the verbal, and they look very distinct because they have three answer choices. It's the only part of the entire test that has three answer choices. And below, you can see examples of typical questions. An analogy question here with four answer choices versus a logic question. Now, the logic questions have very obvious types of structure because all the answers say true, false, or uncertain, and that's it. They don't say anything else but that. Okay. And then we're going to go from here and go to the next page. We're not going to do these questions. This is just a view. All right. Um, I want to talk about this real quick. The breakdown of the test and the time for each section. How many of you guys have taken a practice test? Can I see a show of hands? Okay, Naoki, Rita, you've taken one. How about you, Patrick? Not yet? Okay, so this will be important. For those of you guys who took it, you probably felt like, "Oh my gosh, this test goes fast." Right? It's going at a high speed, right? So there's 60 questions in the verbal and there's 16 minutes, all right? Now, I know that some schools make exceptions. I've heard from, well, I haven't heard. I saw this on an official flyer from St. Ignatius. They gave 18 minutes for verbal. But even so, 16 questions, I mean, 18 minutes for 60 questions is still lightning fast. I don't know if Sarah and Notre Dame gave exceptions longer than 16 minutes, but I heard St. Ignatius did. Quantitative skills. This has 52 questions in 30 minutes. Still more questions than minutes. Reading, there's 62 questions here, and it's only 25 minutes. Mathematics, this is tough also. This is 64 questions and 45 minutes. That's the most generous of all the sections. Most of my students are able to finish this uh, mathematics section on time. Language is also challenging. This is 60 questions here, and this is also just 25 minutes. So overall, 298 questions, 2 hours, 21 minutes. All right. So that's good to know. For those of you guys who took the test, did you time yourself when you took it? Naoki and Rita, did you guys time yourself? No? What you'll
The
find out. I'm sorry, go ahead.
kind of
Kind of? What do you mean?
yeah,
How do you
like
kind of time yourself?
I like time some parts of the test.
Okay. So parts of it you did. But did you feel like it was fast?
Yeah,
It's fast, right? So this is good to know because we don't want to casually do this and think that they'll give us time to finish. They won't. All right. So it's partly to see how well you can handle pressure. That's what they're trying to test you on. So the scoring is based on a scale from 400 to 800, and it is based upon only the correct answers only. All right. Incorrect answers are not penalized. If you're stuck on a question, you should either guess or skip and come back. I'm going to tell you that most people guess because it's such a fast test that you don't have much time to skip it and redo the question again. Just guess, okay? Because there's no penalty. All right. If you're running out of time, you should fill in all remaining blanks. Okay. Why? Because you're not going to have time to solve anything. Just do it. If the proctor says 5 minutes left, you should be on alert. Because if you have like 20 questions, you're not going to finish 20 questions that fast. If the proctor says 1 minute and you look at your page and you're like, holy cow, I still have 10 questions. Don't even think anymore. Just fill. Just fill, fill, fill. All right. So that's what I'm going to tell you guys. If that timing is half the battle on the HSPT. All right. So we're going to continue here and go to the next page. We're going to do some real strategy now, talking about verbal. And today, all of our lesson is focused on verbal. So that's what we'll talk about. The verbal skill subtest, it's always going to be the first section of the HSPT. As I said a minute ago, 60 questions in 16 minutes. Now, Sarah and SI might give you 18. They're not going to give you 30 minutes for this thing. It's going to be 16, maybe 18. There are 5 types of questions, and today we want to get really familiar with these. So that's what we're going to focus on. Now, they come in random order, and there's uh approximately 12 of each type of question. All right, because there's 60 total and there's 5 types. The first one might be familiar, which is analogies. The second one is synonyms. And this is just what we're going to cover today. It's not in this order. I mean, I'm just covering it in this order today. The next one is logic questions, verbal classification, and then the last one would be antonyms. All right. You guys need time to write that down? Okay. I'm going to send a message to Ethan's dad again. I can't chat. Right. So, you guys ready? Good. Give me a thumbs up. You guys ready? Okay. Let's move. Um, let's talk about analogies first. You guys have probably seen this at school. This is usually something that many students have seen. So before we do the question itself, I want to talk about some strategies first. Analogies basically compare 2 words that share a similar connection. And the word connection sounds broad. And what I'm going to say is this: a connection is something that is true and necessary. So we need to establish a true and necessary relationship in order to find the right answer. Okay. What I'm going to tell you is that you guys have probably seen this before. Mountain is to peak. But the word is to really means nothing. Now, why do I say that? The reason why I say this is because a lot of students think that is to is similar to using the verb is, like the to be verb. What I'm going to tell you is do not use is to mean is or as a linking verb. Okay, do not do that because that's not what it's there for. What I'm trying to say is that is to is similar to saying for colon 5. This is red. 4 is to 5. Does that mean that they're equal to each other? No, they're not equal to each other. 4 does not equal 5. And that's what they're really trying to say. So don't treat is 2 as is, or it doesn't mean equals. In fact, I'm going to change what I wrote here. Don't treat it as equals. Okay. It's not a linking verb. Okay. So don't treat it as that. This is what I tell students to. Do you guys write all this stuff down here? You guys got it? Okay. Let's look at the steps here at the bottom of the page. Identify the connection between the first two words in the question. Use that same connection to test the answer choices, and then select the answer choice that uses the same connection. So up here at the top, I'm going to help you guys by doing this. You guys are going to be a little surprised. I'm going to cover up all the answers. Okay. And the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of students, they read the first two words and they go straight to the answers and they go, I'm looking for similarity. But the problem is we're not looking for similarity. We're looking for the right connection. Similarity means that, oh, which word means mountain, which word means peak. We should not do that. The answer is not going to mean that they're synonyms to mountain and synonyms to peak. Let me ask this question to Naoki. What's the relationship between mountain and peak?
Um, a peak is like on a mountain.
True. So let's try this. Peak is on a mountain. I'm going to capitalize it. Can we make it a little bit more precise than just on a mountain? What else? Anyone here can add to this? You guys want to add to it, make it more specific? Rita and Patrick? What do you think, Patrick?
No.
How about you, Rita? How about I'm just gonna add to what Naoki said. The peak is uh, on the top of a mountain. Okay. It's not just on a mountain, it's at the top. Now, why did I do that? Because I want you guys to see this is on top of a mountain as the connection. And secondly, I want you guys to notice that peak is the second word and mountain is the first word. So when we test this out, I'm gonna let each person do this. Since Naoki gave us this connection, I want Rita to look at this, and the way I want you to do it is read the second word and put it in there, then say is on top of the first word. Try that. Say it out loud for everyone so we can follow you.
A hill is on top of a hill.
Is that true? What do you think? What do you think, Rita?
No.
No, it's not. So we'll say no to this because a hill is not on top of a hole. So I'm going to go to Patrick. You do the same thing. Second word is on top of the first word. Go for it.
Wait, so I read, so I say storm is the ocean.
No. What I'm trying to get you guys to do is don't read is to. Is to is there to trick you. Don't read is to. Don't
Okay.
read it. Read second word is on top of first word. That's what Rita did. Okay.
Okay. Ocean is on the top of the storm.
True or false?
False.
Yeah, you can have a storm on land, right? And the ocean's not on top of it. That doesn't make it. I know this is feeling very foreign to you guys. I can sense it. You guys are like, this is not how I do it. But this is going to guarantee the answer. All right, now, Oki, read this one. Second word is on top of first word.
Um, that is a hurricane.
No, no, no. Don't read. I'm converting all of you guys. Don't read is to. It's there to
Uh,
fool you. It is not helpful. That's what I'm trying to say. Do not read is to.
Tide and hurricane.
Don't read Read it as hurricane is on top of the tide. Read it that way.
A hurricane is on top of a tide.
Yes. Do you know why I'm asking you to do it that way?
Um, to ignore the is until.
Yeah, because it has the right answer has to use the same connection that we created for mountain and peak. Peak is on top of the mountain. Is a hurricane on top of a tide? Is a hurricane on top of a tide?
Uh, yes.
Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. Not every tide has a hurricane on top of it. But when you think about a mountain, every mountain has a peak on top of it. So this is not true. Okay. I know you're like, what? All right. Rita, read this one.
Crest is on top of a wave.
What do you think?
I guess so.
Well, let's draw it. I'm going to show you what a wave looks like. Here's a wave. And what do you think these curves on top are?
The crest.
That is a crest. This is a crest. These are waves, right? Of course, these are cartoon, right? But yes, this is always true. So this is our answer. This is the right answer. I know that you guys are not feeling this because I sense it from all three of you here. What I'm trying to say is this. Topically, waves have nothing to do with mountains. They're not synonyms. Crest has nothing to do with peak. Do you guys agree with me on that? So what I was teaching you guys from the very, very beginning is it's not about the similarity of the answers to the question. Because a lot of people think, oh yeah, I just look for something similar. But none of these have anything to do with mountains and peaks. Like a hole has nothing to do with the mountain, right? A hill, peak, a little bit, but not enough. It's not about similarity. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? And a wave has nothing to do with the mountain. You don't read it vertically like this. Read it horizontally. Peak is on top of mountain, crest is on top of wave. That's your answer. You guys, is this okay? Is this something you guys can accept, or how do you guys feel here? It's okay to share your reaction. How do you guys feel here? Patrick, you okay with it? Good? Rita? Okay? Naoki? Good. All right, let's keep on going. All right. On the bottom of the page, this is what we did. We identified the connection between the first two words in the question. We used that connection, we tested the answer choices, and we selected the answer choice that uses the same connection. That's exactly what we did. All right. On the next page, we're going to talk about classic connections because the writers of the HSPT, they don't just give you random words that somehow are affiliated with each other. There's definite connections between words. So let's talk about these for a second. I'm going to give you guys examples to make it friendly. Okay, so let's try this. Let's go with this is the example. This is not the cat. Dalmatian and dog. What's the relationship between the two, Patrick?
Dalmatian is a breed of a dog.
Correct. So we're going to be a little bit more general. The category is type of. So they might give you something like, you know, I'm trying to think of a type of convertible is a type of car, right? And Dalmatian is a type of dog. Does a convertible have anything to do with Dalmatian? No. Does a car have anything to do with dog? No. So we're not comparing it for similarity. It's the relationship type of. Do you guys see what I'm saying? All right. And then let's do another one. I'll give you another example. If I said furry and dog, what's the relationship between the two, Naoki? Do you see what I wrote there? Do you want to give it a shot, Naoki?
It's like the feel.
It is the feel, but I think what we're trying to say, it's a characteristic. So if I said furry is a characteristic of dog, and I said round, colon, ball. Round is the characteristic of a ball, right? So does it have anything to do with dog and furry? No, it has nothing to do with it, but that would be the right answer. What I'm trying to show you guys is the right answer doesn't have to have any connection at all with the words in the question. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? So far, we haven't seen synonyms yet. Do you guys see that? So far, no synonyms. All right. Next one. Shovel and dig. Rita, what's the connection here?
Use a shovel to dig.
Right. So it's the use, right? So the main use of a shovel is to dig. I don't know what else people do with a shovel, but it's digging, all right? And so that's a classic category. What I'm trying to tell you guys is type up, characteristic, use. These are classic categories that the test makers will put into the analogy questions. I'll give you guys another one. I'm going to go to Patrick. If I said hand and body, what's the relationship between these two words?
Um, the self,
I'm sorry, say that again.
the self.
The cell? It's really part. The hand is part, and the
Oh,
body is the whole. So this is called part to whole, right? All right, we'll try another one here. Hand and foot. What do you think, Naoki? What's the relationship between the two? Do you want me to help you out here, Naoki?
Um, they're like um both on the body.
Correct. So they're both parts. This is a comparison of part to part. The hand doesn't belong to the foot doesn't belong to the hand, right? So this is part to part. They're both from the body, like you said, but they're not part of each other, right? Okay, you guys are getting the hang of this. This is another one. Let's go with dark and bright. Rita, what do you think of that?
They're opposites.
Correct. Opposites. So far, 6 categories. None of them are similar to each other. Do you guys see that? It's not about similarity, which a lot of students think it is, but it's not. Okay, Patrick, fluffy and puffy.
um, um, can you help me?
I'm sorry, I
Maybe
couldn't hear you.
I need help.
Oh,
I
this
need-
is this is the one and only similarity.
Oh,
This is similarity.
oh,
Similarity or synonym here. This is it. Okay.
oh, okay.
A lot of students think it's rhyme, but that's not the point. It's similarity. If you said the pillow is puffy, the pillow is fluffy. It's but the same thing, right? It's the
Yeah,
same thing. I hope you guys are writing everything that I write, because if you only write the category, you're gonna go, I don't really remember what that means. If you write the category and the example, you're gonna remember it. Okay. So here's another one. Fire, damage, Naoki, what do you think of this one?
Um, like we feel like a fire does damage is like
It does. It does. You're right. The more typical format of this is cause and effect. Fire is the cause, damage is the effect. Do you guys see that? Last one. This one's interesting. Loud and blaring. Rita, what do you think here?
Uh, They're low-key the same.
Well, we already have synonyms on number 7. So it can't be synonyms again. This is the trickiest one of all the categories. So consider yourself blessed that you got the hardest question. Any ideas here? Anyone want to chime in? This is open to everybody. We're a small gathering here. So I'm making it very personal with you guys. Yeah, what do you think, Patrick?
Annoying?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Annoying?
Well, it's
Is
not a
it-
category. The
Oh,
category is not going to be annoying. Well, let me put it this way. Some people like loud music, so it can't be necessarily annoying. But let me ask you this question, all three of you guys. Is blaring necessarily loud? What would you say? Anyone give me a yes? If you guys give me a yes, give me a thumbs up on that. Yeah, is blaring definitely loud? You thinking about that? Is loud necessarily blaring? That's the other question. Does it work both ways? How many of you guys are like, I thought they're the same thing? How many of you guys are like, I thought they're the same? They're not. Okay, they're not. Because let me put it this way. You could turn your headphones on and they would be loud. But if they were, and you're like having a good time listening to your music, right? But if it was blaring, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I gotta turn the sound, I gotta take my headphones off, right? That's too much. Do you guys see the difference? Loud might be pleasing. You go to some place and you hear loud music and you're like, yeah, I want to dance, right? But then if it's blaring, you'd be covering your ears. You'd be like, oh no, this is too much. I gotta hide from this thing. So are they the same level? No. What this category is, the first word is less, the second word is more. So let me give you some other examples. If I said something like, um, if I said, um, let me give an example of dark, darker. Dark is one thing, darker is another level. If I said tall, tallest. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm using really simple words to show you less to more. And I know for many students it's easy to just think they're the same thing. Here, let me give you another one. Hungry, ravenous. Have you guys ever heard the word ravenous before? Hungry is like, hey, yeah, I'd like to snack on something. Ravenous is like, give me anything. And you're like, you eat the whole pizza yourself. Okay. That's ravenous. Do you guys see the difference there? So this is tricky. It takes a lot of energy for students to get used to this because oftentimes we think of words in the analogies, and the only category you can think of is synonyms, but you can see type of, characteristic, use, part to whole, part to part, opposites. Now you have synonyms in one of the categories, cause and effect, and then less to more. Now, I hope you guys wrote it down because I'm going to encourage you guys to memorize these 9 categories. Because if you memorize these categories, it will be a lot easier to do analogy questions. You're not going to be guessing out of thin air. You'll be like, oh, that's part to whole. I got that. And then you're going to look for part to whole in the answers. Or you're going to go, oh, that's cause and effect. I'm going to find a cause and effect in the answers. So that's what you want to do because otherwise, many students just use their gut reaction and they never get anywhere with it. That's no good. Okay. So gut reaction doesn't work. It's about systematically doing it. Does everyone have this? Can I erase this and move the page? You guys are okay with it? All right. I like how you guys are taking it seriously. I know this is a little bit of an awakening for you guys, but you guys are doing fine. All right. What I'm going to say about creating the connections. The connections have true and necessary relations. So that means that it's not something that's partly true or sometimes true. If you saw answers that had weather is to pleasant, that's sometimes true. Weather's pleasant. So you guys might be like, what are you talking about? San Mateo County is so warm. It's always true. No, I don't know. There's days when it rains, I'm sure. There's days when things like that happen. The way you test something out, like, is Dalmatian always a type of dog? Yes. Is the hand always part of the body? Yes. By definition, is fire a cause of damage? Yes. Now, how do we use never? Well, um, dark is never bright. True. Do you guys see that? So it either works 100% of the time or it works 0% of the time. Are you guys following me on this? 100% or 0%? Do you guys see that? So the same connection that you establish in the question will work in the answers. So that's how we know if an answer is right. Now, what is a weak connection? A weak connection might be sometimes or partly, or not true. Okay. Spell that better. So it could be sometimes, partly, or not true. Right. So what that means is if you feel like the word sometimes goes in there, you're like, well, weather is sometimes pleasant. Weather in some places is seldom pleasant. If you're in Alaska, it might seldom be pleasant, right? So if you can't prove it 100% of the time and you can't prove it 0% of the time, it's a wrong answer. That's how you know it's a wrong answer. If it doesn't have a true connection, you eliminate it. That's how you eliminate wrong answers. So this is very different than probably what they teach you at school. Because a lot of teachers just teach you, yeah, if it makes sense. But there's a lot more to it. Okay. So we're going to do some practice problems. There's just us here. And what I'm going to do to help you guys is I'm going to cover up the answers again. Okay. I'm going to start with, I've lost order as to who was most recent. So I'll start with Naoki. What is the relationship between food and body here?
It's like the body needs food.
Okay. The body needs food. Okay, so this, I'll tell you guys what category this is because you guys are like, what category are you talking about? You just told us about nine it's the use or function. This is Rita recognized shovel and dig. She said use. This is the same thing. The body uses food, right? The body needs food. It's the same thing. All right. So now let's look at these answers here. And I want you to use the word needs, but go second word needs first word. Rita, do you want to read that? And second word needs first word. Can you try that?
Number two.
Yeah, do you see where answer A, read, I don't want to just read it for you because then you're not going to read it, but the word that Naoki gave us was needs. Do you see this above? But he did it from second word body needs food. Second word to first word. Does that make sense? Do you want to try it?
Engine needs fuel.
True or false?
I think so.
So we'll hold on to it. Okay. Patrick, second word needs first word. Go for it.
Uh,
Ball
ball is to bat.
No, don't read is to. I'm trying to break that off of you guys. Don't read is to.
Okay.
Don't read is to. Read. Remember what Naoki said? He said needs. So I made Rita say needs, right? So you're gonna do, she said engine needs fuel. She said, that sounds true. I said, okay, let's keep it. Ball, go for it, Patrick.
Hit by bat. When a ball needs to,
Needs.
needs to be hit by
No,
bat.
you don't need, don't change it at all. Don't change it. Just ball needs bat.
Bat.
Don't change it. True or false?
True.
No, the answer is sometimes. If you're talking baseball, true. Basketball, no. Football, no. Hockey, no. Well, hockey doesn't have a ball. So this is, do you see this is a sometimes, folks? This sometimes is a weak connection. This is wrong as an answer. Are you guys on the same page as me, or how are you feeling here? Are you guys confused with what I'm forcing you to do here? You guys okay with this or what? Patrick, you okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Naoki, test it out with answer C. What would you say?
Well,
Don't read is two. I'm going to exit out so you don't look at it. How do you test this?
if a kite needs a tail,
No. Tail
tail
need.
needs a kite.
Do you understand why I flipped it? Because you flipped it in the first place. Look at where body is. This food is the first word, body is the second word. But the way you connected it in the beginning, second word needs first word. Do you see that? You did that. Do you get what I'm saying? So how do you
Yeah.
read C?
A tail needs a kite.
True or false?
False.
That's false, right? So that's out. All right. And then read what about this one here?
Oil needs gasoline.
True or false?
False.
Okay. Good. Your confidence is much better. Since you said false there, what's our best answer, Rita?
A.
Correct. Does everyone see why? I mean, Rita felt good about A, but I made everybody go through B, C, and D because we were able to say no to B, no to C, no to D. Because ball needs a bat only in baseball. But if you're talking basketball, football, it's not true. And soccer, there's no other instrument besides a soccer ball, right? So you guys get what I'm saying, right? This is sometimes true, but not always. Sometimes it's weak, it's out. So what Rita said at the beginning, engine needs fuel, definitely. That works. Okay. Let me just ask you on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 is hard, 1 is easy. What do you guys give me for this? So Patrick said 5. What about Naoki? Rita, what would you give it?
2,
2?
3, 4, 3.
What was that? Rita, how many fingers do you you yeah, I thought counted 7 there. Okay.
Oh.
Hey, can I do 10?
10? Okay, that's really hard. Okay, let's do this again. I know this is what I'm sensing from you guys. It doesn't feel natural to you guys right now. But I'm going to tell you a lot of methods that we learn, like learning math sometimes doesn't feel natural. Same thing with this, that these standardized tests are written for people not to just use impulse or gut reaction. They're meant to be done with methods. So that's what I want to say. Okay. We're gonna get used to it. You'll feel it eventually. I'm gonna ask Patrick to read this one up here. We're gonna do number 4. What's the connection between these two words?
Um, Uh, Measles are a type of a disease.
Correct. So I like what you said there. That is using one of the classic categories. This is type of. All right. If
Right.
it,
If
if
it,
that,
if
that
that,
if we're going to
that
use that, let's try that with each of the answers. I'm going to go to Naoki. Use the same connection that Patrick just gave us and tell us whether A is true or false.
Musical is a type of plug.
True or false?
False.
Okay, that is false. So it's out immediately. All right. What about the next one? Rita, help us out with this one.
Mutable is a type of change.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think so.
That's definitely not what they were saying right there. So that's out. All right. Let's go to the next one. Patrick, use the
uh,
same connection here,
unstable is to explode.
but don't use is to. Remember,
Okay.
we're not reading is to. It means nothing. Is to means nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay. Use the connection that you started with. Don't forget. That's why I wrote it at the top. Do you guys see that? So how do you use this connection with with answer C?
Um,
Unstable is a type of.
explosion.
No, don't change the words. Do not change the words. Explosion is a noun. Explode is a verb. Do not change the word. Keep it the same. Is unstable a type of explode?
Unstable.
What about you guys? Naoki and Rita, do you think unstable is a type of explode? What do you guys think? Rita, what do you think?
No.
No, it's not. Unstable means something is if if you had something that was screwed into the floor like a chair because it was unstable, if the screw got loose, the chair is unstable. Is it going to explode? No, the chair is not going to explode. Do you see that? Do you get what I'm saying there, Patrick?
Yeah.
Or a table. Like you go to a restaurant, there's some restaurants the table is wobbly, right? But then there's some restaurants where the table is screwed in to the into the floor so it doesn't wobble. Is the table ever going to explode? No.
No.
Okay, you get what I'm saying now, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have used chair. Table's a better example, right? Let's go to Naoki. Read this one. Tell us if that fits the connection here.
Felony is a type of crime.
True or false?
True.
That is true. That is the right answer. Do you guys see how only one answer worked here? And does felony have anything to do with measles? No. Does crime have anything to do with disease? No. So what I'm trying to untrain you guys is that it's not about similarity. Do you guys see that now? Felony has nothing to do with disease or measles, right? There's no topical similarity. All right, we're gonna keep going. Are you guys handling this okay? Are you guys okay? All right. I'm gonna have Rita read this one here and just give us the connection between these two words here at number 3. What's the connection between these two words? What do you think?
I don't know.
Have you heard of barometer before? Haven't? Okay, how about the guys, Naoki and Patrick? Have you guys heard?
Oh,
You haven't heard this
Um,
before? Okay, what about you, Naoki?
no.
No? Okay. I'll use this in a sentence because you guys have not heard it, but I'll give you a sentence here. Uh, a barometer measures air pressure. Okay, that's what it does. So you're probably wondering, what is that? On a hot day, have you ever gone to like Central California? Like if you're driving between San Francisco to Los Angeles and you pass through cities like Fresno, Bakersfield, Merced. Have you guys ever done that before? Have you ever rolled down the window in the middle of summer in those towns? What is it like? Are you telling us there, Rita? Or are you just scratching your eyebrow there? Scratching the eyebrow. Okay, how about you, Patrick? Have you ever driven or gone with your parents through Central California?
yeah,
What's it like?
I just don't like it.
Well, do you feel that heat pressing down on you? Do you ever feel
Yeah,
that? Naoki,
yeah.
have you ever gone through Central California before?
Like once?
If as soon as you leave the Bay Area, okay, we have cool temperature even in the summer, and you're driving to LA with your parents. If you guys go, for a pit stop to get gas, use the bathroom, and you walk outside, suddenly you feel this heat just pressing. Have you guys, you don't have to go to these cities that I just said. Once you leave the Bay Area, even Sacramento, same thing. The heat just presses down. Okay. There's actually a machine that measures that kind of pressure that I just talked about. It's called a barometer. Okay. That's a long story just to tell you that a barometer can measure the pressure, the air pressure. It's pressing down on you. Next time you guys watch a weather report, the weather people always say, and the barometric pressure will be very light, or the barometric pressure will be very heavy. So that's what they're talking about. That's the air, not like tire pressure on a car. Okay. So it's the key thing here is it measures pressure. I'm going to take out air so you don't get confused. But our main connection here is the word pressure. So I'm going to go to Patrick, and when you read it, read second word to first word. Okay. How would you read this here?
Um,
Second word to first, because barometer was second, pressure is first. Can you do it with A?
meter
Measures.
measures a meter
Me-
measures centimeter.
True or false?
False.
False. Exactly. So when you read it that way, you're able to judge it right away. Don't read the is to. You need to break out of that because you do that a lot. All right, Naoki, read the next one.
Foot measures inch?
True or false?
False?
That's false. All right. And now let's go to the next one. Rita,
A race measures kilometers.
true or false?
False.
Okay. And then Patrick, what about the last one?
Uh, a thermometer measures temperature.
True or false?
True.
There you go. That's correct. You got it. Do you guys see that? Now, does a thermometer measure pressure? No. So what I'm saying one more time, it's not about similarity. Analogies are not just about similarity. Do you guys see that now? I know this is taking a lot of energy because you guys are like, man, we never thought of analogies this way, but this is how the HSPT does it. Okay. So, Naoki, for number five, can you tell us the relationship between these two words?
Um, um, a pencil needs to be sharpened.
Okay. A pencil needs, well, to be the problem with this is sharpen and sharpened is two different types of words. Um, I'll let you get away with it, but you're going to see why it's not going to work. It is you can't change. This is what I was stopping Patrick from doing because he was changing the words. Can you reform this one more time before we look at the answers? Don't use the ed. Let's change it.
Um,
Same thing that I told Patrick earlier.
um,
How about this? I'll help you. To use a pencil, you must sharpen it. Okay, so we didn't change the form.
okay.
Okay. Now, I know you're probably like, that's long and clunky. A little bit, but we're going to say to use a blank, you must blank it. Okay.
Okay.
It feels long, but Rita, you get to test it out the first time. Sorry, I got to move this up a little bit. I'll move this up. To use a blank, you must blank it. All right, Rita. So you get to test it out. You tell me if this is true with A. Read it out loud so we can hear you.
To use a build, you must
We're
car
not going second. We're going first word and then second word. So don't switch the order.
to carpenter.
To use a
To
carpenter,
use a carpenter, you must build it.
true or false? Do we have to build a carpenter?
No.
Carpenter's a person. You can't build a person, right? So this is false. I'm just helping you to be able to understand what when something is false, it doesn't make any sense, right? All right, let's go to the next one. Patrick, you want to help us out with this one?
Um,
Don't read is too.
to bovine.
No, we're not going second word. It's first word, then second. Pencil was first word, sharpen was second word. Don't switch the order.
Okay. What is bovine mean?
Don't just read to use a.
Oh, you use a bovine
Don't switch the order. You're switching order. To use a
to
pig,
use. Oh,
to
to use a
use a
pig,
pig.
you must bovine it.
Okay. Does that make any sense to you?
No.
Okay. Bovine is the category for cows. Like feline is cats, canine is dogs, bovine is cow. So pigs and cows are two different breeds of animals, right? So this is totally not true. Okay. But what I'm trying to coach you on, Patrick, is that although in some words we had to switch the order, not all of them are switched. Because what Naoki originally created, and I helped to make it fit, it's first word and then second word. So don't switch the order just because we did it in the previous ones. Does that make sense? How
Yeah.
many of you guys are like, okay, let me do a little temperature check here. Scale of 1 to 5. 5 is difficult, 1 is easy. What would you guys say? 2, 4, 5. Okay. 2? Okay. All right. I still feel like you guys are all kind of around 4. I feel like that because you guys are not adopting the method. And I know it feels unnatural to you, but this is the way to do it. Okay. Um, Naoki, can you use use this connection and test it out
Okay.
with C?
To use the site, you must exit.
What do you think?
False.
That's totally false, right? They're two different, saw and axe are two different cutting devices. That doesn't make any sense. Rita, tell us what to do with answer D. Read it out loud.
To use a well, you must fill it.
What do you think?
True.
That's definitely true. To use a well, we must fill it with water. So I know that you guys are like, wow, that actually fit, right? It at first you guys are like, I don't know why Eli is telling us this, but it actually worked. Do you guys see that? And it's not similarity. Pencils have nothing to do with wells. Sharpening and filling are not synonyms. Have I convinced you guys by now that analogies are not synonyms and the answer choices are not synonyms to the words in the question? Do you guys agree with me on this? Is this hard to accept? That's the bigger question. Is this very different than what you guys have experienced at school? Yeah, it's okay. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Okay. So let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. We're gonna go from analogies to synonyms. We're gonna actually talk about them. I think by now you're like, Eli doesn't like synonyms. No, I do, but not every question is that a synonym. So we should know when they're asking us synonyms. They are asking us synonyms on the test. And the only time they do it is when it says most nearly means. When it says most nearly means, that's calling for us to find a synonym. Synonym questions always present one word that is similar to an answer choice. This stuff is probably what you guys are used to. Um, if Patrick, if you were to read this first question, how would you go about that?
For which one?
Which says meager. You see that one?
Oh, meager most nearly means uh well received.
Why well received? Do you know what meager means first?
No,
Not really. Okay. How about Rita and Naoki? Do you know what meager means? Not really. No, all three of you guys. Okay. I was a little surprised. What I'm going to say is this before I tell you the answer, I want to talk about our method here. And what I'm going to say is this synonym questions always present one word that's similar. Be aware of the wording. We know that when it says most nearly means that's synonym. Our method is telling us cover the answer choices. Then think of the context of the word. Have I ever heard meager before? Maybe you have, and you probably don't remember it. Maybe you know the definition of the word, because if you do that, that obviously helps. But when you know the context, usually you've heard it or read it somewhere, then you can match your definition with the best answer. I'm going to give you a context, okay? Some people gave meager amounts of candy during Halloween. What does that mean, Rita? Some people gave meager amounts of candy during Halloween. Did you go trick or treating? You did. Okay. What do you think this means then?
Big amounts.
Big amounts. Hmm. What do you think, Patrick? Your hand went up.
small amounts.
Small amounts. Yes. There's some people who give big. It's rare that they give big, but sometimes they just give you one piece and you're like, oh, okay. Right. So this means small amounts of candy, right? With this in mind, let's go back to the question here. Um, we don't see big as our answer, so that probably could help you, but since I gave you a context, now that I gave you this, um, what do you think the best answer is, Naoki?
Um, it would be Like C, C.
Patrick, your hand went up. What did you want to say here?
Uh, valuable?
Why valuable?
Oh wait,
Valuable
no.
means
Wait,
the
wait.
price is very high. Like, dang, dude, that candy is $500? That's expensive. I don't
Uh,
know about that.
well received.
Well received means welcome. Like, come to my place, have candy. That's welcoming.
Long overdue.
Okay, you guys did not know the word. It's scanty. So scanty means small amounts. I hope you guys write this down. I hope you guys write the example that I wrote. Don't just check off or circle D. That's what some students are just going, okay, D, that's nice, but you're not going to learn anything unless you write down the examples that I give you. Okay? I'm not telling you guys this because I'm trying to be mean to you. I'm doing this because I want you guys to really adopt all of these methods because if we simply like don't if we simply circle the right answers, we're not really learning methods. But what I really want you to learn is methods. That's why I'm writing all these things here. So I know I can't be right there in San Mateo and check right over your shoulder. Are you writing it? I'm not going to do that. But I hope that you're adopting these methods because the methods are the things that you will remember. And the methods are what are going that's what's going to help you on test day. Okay, guys? All right, so we had some words that we didn't know. Meager means small amounts, scanty, also small amounts. All right. Just to let you know, I gave out 1,300 candies on Halloween. That's how many people came to trick or treat in my neighborhood. And I ran out eventually, but 1,300 candies. That's pretty crazy. All right. How many candies did you guys get? Anybody get more than 100? Yeah, more than 100? Good, good. All right. Last but not least, on this page, I know that you guys are probably wondering, why does Eli say cover the answer choices? Now, the reason why is because on this test, 3 out of 4 answers are wrong. Don't trust the wrong answers. Find the right one. What I'm also going to tell you is answers won't pop out and be obvious unless you have something in mind. So that's why I've asked you guys, what does meager mean? Because the answers aren't going to tell you, hey, I'm the right answer, right? The only way you're going to know it's right is if you know what meager means. Okay. So let's keep going here. This is what we're going to do on the next page. This page is one of my favorite pages on page 6 because there are no answers to look at. Okay. There's no clue from the answers. What I'm really emphasizing here is that the answers are not the clue. Oops, I don't know what happened to my page. Let me just go back to this. Okay, the answers are not your clues. The answers instead are either right because they're right or wrong because they're wrong. They're not there to help you. So let me start with Naoki. Have you heard this word Fortnite?
No.
No? How about Rita? Patrick? I thought one of you guys was going to say it's a video game, right? Fortnite video game is spelled different. Let me give you guys a sentence. I'm going to give you guys a the tennis tournament lasted a fortnight. Okay. Does anybody here play tennis or know anything about tennis? You do. Okay, Patrick. How long have you been playing tennis or how familiar are you with it?
Been playing for 9 years.
Wow. Okay. A long time. You must be really good.
I'm not.
Um have you know what Wimbledon and French Open are, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how long they last? Have you ever watched it?
No. I
No.
just it gets boring, so I just
It's
skip it.
boring, but you play it. Well,
Yeah,
there's
that's the bad part. I get forced to.
oh, okay. Well, your parents are teaching a good sport. Now, I brought it up because that's how I learned this word fortnight. As I was watching Wimbledon, which is in England, and they always call the tournament the fortnight in England. Do you think that means the tournament is one night? How long do you think that could be? What do you think,
Oh,
Patrick?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. How about Naoki and Rita? What do you guys think here? We'll come back to it. Hope you guys write this down, okay? Because I'm giving you an example for a reason. How about impose? Let me go to Rita. What do you think impose is? Any idea on this one? I'll give you a sentence. Do you want me to give you a sentence, Rita? Okay, how about this? Oh, right. I don't know if this is true for your all schools, but I'm going to just say Catholic schools impose a a rule on students to wear uniforms. Do you guys wear uniforms at St. Timothy's? Okay, so the school imposes a rule that students must wear uniforms. What do you think that means, Rita?
Not like put on or force.
Force. Let's write that down. That's the definition there. I know I Naoki, I don't know if you know this, but I used to teach this class at Notre Dame in person.
Oh,
Yeah, in person. In Mr. Fletcher's room. I used to teach it there. But this year we're doing it online. So I know that Notre Dame wears uniforms. You guys wear that blue sweatshirt, right? So this is and a white shirt for the boys. Is that correct?
yep.
Yep. So this is for what Rita said is force. Forces. Okay. The school forces students to wear uniforms. Okay. Um, let's keep going. I'm gonna go to Naoki. Do you know what a claim is?
Like say,
I'm sorry, say it again.
like say,
Not really. Okay. What about Patrick and Rita?
Um,
I'll use it as it doesn't look like people know this word, so I'm going to use this in a sentence here. The movie received much acclaim and won awards. Anyone can chime in. What do you guys think this means? Acclaim and won. It received much acclaim and won awards. Does it sound positive or negative? Let me ask you guys this. What do you think, Patrick?
positive.
It is a positive word, right? If the movie won awards, we're not saying it's a bad movie, right? If you were to just take a stab in out of thin air, what do you think that means, Patrick?
Um, good rating.
Good ratings.
Good ratings.
Okay, let's go with
Okay,
that.
let's go.
Good ratings.
Good ratings.
All right. All right. I'm gonna go to uh Rita. What do you think of this word here?
Kind of like bad.
Yeah, bad. Have you heard this word before?
Menace?
Yeah. Where'd you hear it?
Um, my mom usually calls my brother a little menace because my brother doesn't listen at all and is always causing chaos.
Thank you for sharing. At least you will remember it very, very well. You won't forget it. That's very good. Thank you for sharing. All right, this is an interesting one. Naoki, what do you think of this word here?
Um, to like guess.
Did you say guess on that?
Yeah.
Not exactly. How about Patrick and Rita? Have you guys heard this word before? No? I'll give you guys a sentence. Let me see if this helps you. A simple sentence. Parents do not condone violence. What do you guys think that means? Any guess on what that could mean? If you could substitute this word condone with another friendlier word that you guys know, what would you substitute? Because I gave you a sentence that's easy to kind of apply. What do you think? Parents do not blank violence. What do you guys think? Any guess, Naoki?
Like allow.
That's good. Allow. Let's go with it. All right. This one's a tough one. This one's going to be a tough one here. Patrick,
Rice? Yes.
what do you think here, Patrick?
Yeah. Cap- was
It's
it?
it's pronounced capitulate.
Oh, capitulate.
Yeah. This one's a tough one, I'll be honest with you. I've only had a few students who known this, and I teach over 100 students per year in probably close to 200 when it comes to HSPT. You guys want me to help you guys out on capitulate? This one's probably a hard one. All right, so uh the losing team capitulated to the winning team. So the losers had to buy ice cream for the winners. Okay. So imagine two teams that make a bet. Losers have to buy ice cream for winners. If the losing team capitulated, the losing team ended up buying the ice cream. What do you guys think capitulate means?
Um,
The losers basically said, okay, we lost. We got to buy the ice cream for the winners. Like if someone's like, no, I don't want to buy the ice cream. Let's play best of three. So we lost the first one. Let's play the second game. If we win, you guys got to win the third game. Have you guys ever had best of three on something? That's when losers don't want to give up. So I'm kind of telling you, capitulate means to give up. All right, to give up. So they gave up. They're like, okay, we lost. We got to buy the ice cream for the other team. I know vocab is not easy. I know it's not easy. So, um, let me go to, I haven't done this really in order, but I'll go to Rita. What do you think of petrify?
Oh, like really scared.
Good. Really scared. That's a good way of looking at it. Okay. Naoki, what do you think of fatigue?
Like like unable to do something.
Kind of unable to do something. Why is someone unable to do something?
Um,
There's a specific reason why they can't do it.
busy.
What do you think? What, Patrick, did you say something? I don't hear.
They're busy.
Not because they're busy. Not because they're busy. I'm just gonna leave it as this because I don't want to give away the answers here. This one's a tough one. Patrick, do you know what collusion is? This is a tough one.
Um, no.
Not sure. How about you guys? Rita, what do you think?
Um, I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a clue. The clue is I'm gonna write the sentence here. In a movie, the police and the mafia worked together in an act of collusion. What do you think that means? Anyone want to take a stab? Naoki, do you want to take a stab at it? No? Rita? I gave you guys, how about Patrick? Do you get, let me ask you this. The sentence I made, do you think the mafia is going to do good? No. So these police, if they're working with the mafia, they flipped from being good police to bad police in this movie. So what do you guys think collusion is? These are not good police. If it helps you, I'll call them the bad police. Okay. These are not good police, these are bad police. The bad police and the mafia work together in an act of collusion. What do you guys think this is? Bad police. This is okay. Collusion is an a a planned out crime. That's what collusion is. Do you guys see that? It's a plan. It's not like by accident the mafia committed crime. No, they did it. They planned it out. And in this movie, the police worked with them. Do you guys see that? All right. Did you guys write down what I wrote down here? Did you guys do it? How many of you guys are like, it wasn't okay? I hope you did because this is going to help you guys to answer the questions on the next page. So on the next page, questions 5 through 13 use the exact same words that we just, oops, I made it too big. Let's go a little smaller. These are the same words. So this is what I want you guys to do for one moment. I want you guys to answer these questions and do it like a quiz. I'm gonna step aside for just a moment to run to the restroom, and then I'm gonna come back when you guys are done. Can you guys do that? I'll be right back. Okay? I'll be right back. How many of you guys are done? Not yet? Still working on it? Okay. You can refer to the stuff that we just talked about. It'll help you to figure out the answers. When you're done, just give me a thumbs up. Okay. Patrick's ready. Rita, Naoki, ready? You guys ready? Okay, that's a thumb. He's like barely showing his thumb. I could barely see it. So, okay, good. Well, let's go into this. I'm going to start with Fortnite. Patrick, you were the first person done. What did you choose for Fortnite?
A week.
Close, but not exactly. I guess you need to dig into your tennis a little bit more if you're Mr.
Oh,
9 years of tennis and you didn't know Wimbledon is 2 weeks.
oh,
Do you
four
know what?
nights. Oh,
So,
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
well, the reason why it's 2 weeks, folks, I know I told you guys the answer. Fortnite needs 14 nights. That's what it means. That's what it's not a video game, folks. It means 14 nights. So remember this rather than the video game, because a lot of students only know the video game, and that's not what it means. It means 14 nights. All right, I'm gonna go to Rita. What do you think imposes?
Require.
Hmm? Require. Correct. Require. Yes, that is correct. Require. Naoki, what do you think number 7 is?
Flatter.
Hmm. Well, when a movie receives acclaim, it's not flattery because flattery is not it's not authentic, it's not real. When you really like something, you give it positive, you know, positive reviews. It's not like to please. Flattery is like, "Hey Naoki, we're like best buds. Can you do my homework for me?" That's flattery. That's not genuine. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So what's another word besides flattery?
Uh, Imitate.
Which one? Initiate
Uh,
means to begin. That's not, so this might not be a familiar, this means to begin. Flattery is fake, fake, compliments. That's what flattery is. Amazement. When someone is in amazement, this is a feeling of, of wonder. That's what I would say. The best answer is amazement. Okay. So people are like, wow, that was a great movie. I loved it. Right?
okay.
So it's B, amazement. All right. Let's go from here to number 8. What do you think of this one, Patrick?
This is
I couldn't hear you. Say that again.
uh a failure.
Are you
Oh no. Oh,
did you change from disadvantage to failure? It's neither. The answer is danger.
oh,
If you remember what Rita said about her brother, I didn't give it to Rita because I knew she was going to get this, but it means that like her brother was a menace because he was doing bad things. Danger would have been the right answer. Another use of menace, because some people think of this cartoon called Dennis the Menace. That's not a good example because it's more funny what the character Dennis does. But I think of termites as a menace because they can eat through wood and destroy a house. That's pretty bad. You guys see that? So the best answer was danger on that one. Okay. Let's keep moving along here and condone. Naoki, what do you think of this one?
Um, I think it is expose
Remember the
to
example I
show.
said was parents do not condone violence. So what do you think?
D, approve.
Approve. Did you get, I'm gonna just ask, did you guys go back to all the examples that we did on the previous page? That should make it easy. All right. Because most of my students get 100% on this. All right, Rita, I'm giving you a tough one here. What do you think of this one?
Surrender.
Correct. Remember the losing team, they admitted that they lost, so surrender is perfect. Good. Patrick, petrify. What do you think?
Shock.
Correct. And Naoki, number 12, fatigue.
Uh, Exhausted.
Exhausted. Remember when you said you can't do anything? I mean, when someone can't do something anymore, there could have been many reasons. They could have been bored, they could have been irritated, they could have been exhausted, but exhausted is what that means. 13, Rita, you get a tough one here. What do you think collusion is?
B.
Connivance. Very good. How did you choose connivance?
I just guessed.
Okay. Connivance means the same thing that I said collusion. And both of these words mean planning, evil, activity. That's what that is. Connivance and collusion are intentionally planning evil or bad. That's what that is. Some of you guys are probably like, when am I ever going to see these words again? I will tell you that this vocabulary is not considered too advanced. It's considered at most mid-high school language. That's what I would say, but nothing beyond sophomore year, I would say. So it shouldn't scare you and make you think it's like scary language. We're going to go to the next part. This is talking about logic. This is a different type of question. Let's get into this for a little bit here. Logic questions give you two statements and one claim. Now, I want to say this. Statements are facts. They're true. Okay? And then claim is something that is unproven. Okay? Have you guys ever heard the word claim before? Let me ask Naoki, have you heard unproven claim before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it means that, like, if someone said, I'll give an example. If someone said, the Dodgers are the best, how many of you guys are baseball fans? Anybody? What kind of reaction would you have to that? We're up in the Bay Area. What would you guys say? You got to say no. We're supposed to be anti-Dodge. We're Giants people, right? So that's a claim, right? We'd be like, no, no Dodgers, right? Because, we're supposed to be against the Dodgers because we're San Francisco Bay Area. So, but if you were down in LA, they would say Dodgers are nothing, right? So whenever you look at these things, they're not going to give you outrageous statements like that, but they're going to make the third statement is not to be taken as fact, not to be taken as true. That's the question itself. They don't use question marks. Okay. The logic questions always have three answer choices. So when you look at this, I'm going to break it down. This first sentence is a fact. Cheryl is taller than Grace. The second statement is also fact. So I'm going to do this so that you can, this is the first statement, and this is fact. All right. And the second one, this is the second statement. This is fact. Okay. The third statement is a claim. So I'm going to call it something else so that you guys don't call it a statement. This is a claim. It's unproven. Okay. Because the question says if the first two statements are true, the third statement is unproven. This is the question here. Question is about the third statement, which is the claim. Are you guys following me on this, on the structure here? Does that make sense, what I'm saying here? So even though the third statement looks just like the first two, it's really a question, okay? It's not a fact. So we have to treat it differently. This is a question. Do you guys see that? It doesn't have a question mark, but this is a question. Do you guys see that? So before we just go in here and dive into the answers, I want to say that for some people, they find it easy to use the symbols like less than, greater than, or equal to, these symbols, to turn the statements into equations. Or you can rank the variables as into columns. Now you guys are probably like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, Patrick, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I gotta go.
You gotta go? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Our class is always 2 hours, just to let you know that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But I'll see you next week then. Okay. See you
All right.
later. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. All right. See you. Okay. Well, it's just Rita and Naoki. You guys okay with that? All right. Are you guys following me so far? You guys are following me. Okay, good. So I want to show you something here in the middle to the bottom of the page here. And it's the same sentences, the first, the second, and the third, right? And so I'm labeling these just so that we are all following. This is fact. This second one is also fact. The third one is a claim. All right. I'm going to put another space in there. Fact, fact, and claim. Hopefully that fits better. Sort of. Okay. So we could translate this into Cheryl taller than Grace. Do you guys see that? Because Cheryl is taller. The second one says Tiffany is taller than Cheryl. So you could say T taller than C, right? The third one, we still need to translate it, is saying, is Tiffany taller than Grace? This is a question. Okay. So it's not fact. It's a claim. Naoki, with this kind of breakdown, would you say the third statement, the claim, is it true, false, or uncertain? What do you think?
Um, uh, Uncertain.
Uncertain? Rita, what do you think?
Um, maybe true.
Maybe true? Why just maybe?
Because I'm not fully sure, but
Okay.
it looks like it.
Okay, let me write it. This is the translation way for equations. Let me write it another way for you guys. The first statement, and I put it in blue. C is taller than G. Okay. The second statement says T is taller than C. So Tiffany is taller than Cheryl. Okay. The third statement, which we're translating as Tiffany is taller than Grace. Now remember, this third statement is not a fact, so we're separating it. It's a question, right? This is a question here. Based on this, what do you think, Naoki? True or false? Or uncertain?
True.
Okay. Rita, what do you think?
True.
I think you two like this a little bit more, right? The way I stacked it up like this. So the answer here is true. right? This is true. You guys like this vertical column better than the greater than less than. Am I correct on that? The inequality signs greater than, less than. You guys don't like that. What do you think? Am I right, Rita, or not?
I like them both. I just find the greater than less than more helpful rather
Okay.
than the original because if I look at the greater than less than, I can go back and it makes more sense than the words do.
Okay, what about stacking it up vertically? Was that more obvious or less obvious to you?
Um, mm, I'm not really sure.
Okay. Naoki, which one did you like more? Greater than, less than, or stacking it up?
Greater than or less than?
Really? I felt like both of you guys were more confident in your answer when I stacked them up vertically. You guys both said true um, after that. But here's our method. We translated the statements into either an equation or ranking, right? Then we did the same thing with statement two. Then we determined if statement three is the claim is true, false, or uncertain based on statements one and two. Do you guys agree that's what we just did, right? Okay, we're going to try to do this some more. We'll do it all together. This is all learning experience together. So let's go to the next page here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Rita to just read the first sentence and just go right here. And I want you to just translate this into an equation. Can you just help us out with that?
The white pony jumped over more hurdles than the striped pony.
How would you turn that into an
Hmm.
equation?
The white pony is greater than the striped pony.
Correct. So let's write W greater than S. Do you agree with me on that? Okay. So now, Naoki, I want you to do this. I want you to translate the next sentence here. Okay.
Uh, the the black is greater than the S.
Yes. So B is greater than S. All right. So I'm going to go back to Rita. And if you were to read this third sentence, could you translate that one? That's the claim.
Um, the white black pony is greater than the white pony.
Good. So WB greater than W. And this is the question, Rita. So you tell me based upon statements one and two, is it true, false, or uncertain?
Uh, Um, I think I have no clue.
Okay. Naoki, what do you think?
Um, I uh, I think it is true.
It is not true. The answer is uncertain. So let me help you guys out because I felt that both of you guys were not sure. The reason why this is uncertain is the only things we know are a white pony, a striped pony, and a black pony. But the question introduces a new pony. The new pony is called white black. This is not a white, this is not a black, and is not a striped. So we don't know what it is. So the answer here is uncertain because we don't know what it is. Some people are like, oh, I thought the striped pony was white black. There's nothing that tells us that the striped pony is white. It could have been purple and blue, right? We don't know what the striped pony is. Could have been silver. Who knows what it is? Do you guys see why the answer is uncertain there? It could be true, but we just don't have any information about the white black pony. Do you guys get this with this method of translate? Statement one, translate, statement two, determine, statement three. Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to try some of these. I'm not getting a lot of reaction from you guys, so I'm just kind of always double checking with you guys. So we'll do these together. I'm going to just white out the rest of the page because I want to focus on just one question at a time. So I'm going to white out everything else. What I'm going to do to make it easier for you guys is I'm going to, instead of splitting the question up one line to each person, I'm just going to let one person do a question, the second person do the second question. So, Rita, I want you to translate the sentences into that format of first, second, and then third, which is the claim, right? So, can you translate the first one for us?
George is greater than Bob.
G is greater than B. All right. What about the second one?
F is less than G.
F is less than G. All right. What's the third one? This is a claim here.
B is greater than F.
B is greater than F. What do you think?
True.
Why true?
Because Fred is younger than George and George is older than Bob. Actually, I feel like it's true because if George is older than Bob and then Fred is younger than George, then Bob is most likely older than Fred, or it's
We don't know any
uncertain.
comparison between Bob and Fred. Let me go back to the second statement. So the way that you have it, you said Fred is less than George. This is actually the same as saying George is greater than Fred. Do you see that? Same thing. Fred is less than George. George is greater than Fred. Do you agree with me on that? But
Yeah.
when you look at it, Bob and Fred, they could be the same age. What if George is 10 and Bob is 7? George is 10 and Fred is 7. They could be equal to each other. What if George is 10 and Bob is 3? George is 10, Fred is 7, right? So the answer is uncertain here because we don't really know the relationship between Bob and Fred. It's uncertain. Does that make sense? So I would write it down the way that I wrote it here, G greater than B, G greater than F. The truth is Bob could Bob could be younger or equal to Fred. We don't know. So the answer has to be uncertain. Does that make sense? Got it. Okay. Um, let's go from there to the next part. Oh shoot. It's already 6:59 and I would like to start a new question, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to because we have to wrap up our class at 7. What I'm gonna tell you guys is that for homework, I know we didn't get very far in this. The homework starts on page number 14, or no, is it right here where it says exercises? So homework starts on page 14. So this is, wait, is this 14? Sorry, let me go back to the pages. 13 and 14? No. It's pages 13 and 14, sorry, where it says exercises. So homework right here, pages 13 and 14. Okay. So I want you guys to do that. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And I hope this was helpful. I know it was very new and it was very different than what you may have experienced, but I hope you're starting to see some methods here. All right. Great to meet you guys. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Is that cool? All right. Have a good evening. I'll see you guys later. Okay. See you. Bye.